Hello everyone, Francis Walsh here with Pet Life Central, and today we're going to be discussing the best pet insurance comparison tools. So there's a few platforms out there that can help you compare pet insurance policies, and these can come in really handy just because there are so many different insurance providers out there and they've all got several plans. And so depending on your individual circumstances, there might be any number of plans that might kind of suit you, but that might not represent the best value for money either at the same time. So having a tool like this at your disposal, it really cuts out a lot of the manual labor required to find the best insurance package for your needs. So in this video, I'm going to break down kind of how these comparisons work and what you should be looking for in particular. And then towards the end, we're going to look at some of my preferred tools. So firstly, I think it's worth mentioning or kind of discussing why it is that these tools are necessary in the first place. And the reason is because pet insurance is just really complicated. There are a lot of different things that go into making up a policy. It's therefore difficult to make apples to apples comparisons of policies because there are just so many different, factors at play. There's the coverage limits, there's the deductible, there's the extras, there's reimbursement rates, and there's all, numerous factors like this that can make a policy more or less suitable to a given individual. So it's really important firstly that you figure out exactly what you need when you're approaching comparison sites. Whether you need maybe a small deductible, you need certain specific extra coverage, to make sure that you're looking at policies that provide for this. And once you have the policy that provides everything you need, you can figure out which policy is going to be the cheapest option. So what should you be looking for when you select a pet insurance comparison tool? Essentially, you just want something that's going to make life easier for you, that makes clear everything you need made clear. Because obviously insurance can be very confusing, and as I mentioned, there are a lot of intertwining factors at play here. So you want something that sets out everything you need to know in accessible fashion, and that doesn't kind of gatekeep any important information from you. A second factor that I would look for is just that the platform is not going to use your contact details in order to spam you. This is something that can happen on a lot of comparison sites where they'll request your email address to sign you up. And then once you've given over your email address, you'll suddenly be bombarded with unwanted correspondence from, insurance companies or credit card companies or whatever the case may be. So you want to make sure you get a comparison site that doesn't do that, ideally. Final thing I would recommend keeping in mind is that not every pet insurance comparison tool is that transparent about price. Obviously it's the insurance industry, there can be hidden fees, there can be loopholes and small print and that kind of thing, and some platforms do a better job than others of making all this clear and making it obvious to you that these hidden charges exist with a given policy. So yeah, that's just one more thing to keep in mind. So I suppose in terms then of a recommendation I'd make about a pet insurance comparison tool, Best Money is the one I think is the best. It's the one I use myself, both for pet insurance and for other kinds of financial products as well. There are a lot of good platforms out there, but I just think Best Money is the best for a few different reasons. First of all, the layout I think is just really intuitive. You get all the information you need without being bombarded with excess data as well. You can see here that it'll divide up, the suitability of quotes depending on whether you have a cat or a dog. And it also takes your location into account as well, and you can enter your zip code to get the most accurate possible reading on premiums in your area. If you look at the scores here on the right hand side, which is kind of what Best Money's recommendations are based on, they have this composite score that's based on a few different factors. So this comes from both their own analysis and from brand reputation, which comes from SEMrush data, so you do have a little bit of third party kind of independent feedback there as well. Like all of these kinds of websites, Best Money does earn commissions from brands listed on the site, but as you can see up here, they are quite open about it, and I do still think they make good recommendations and redirect you to really solid plans and policies. And the one other thing I would say, which is very important obviously, is that as I said, you're not getting bombarded with communications when you do a search on Best Money. You may be contacted by insurers if you click through to an insurer's website and try to purchase a policy from there. But just sharing your contact details with Best Money is not going to result in you being bombarded with phone calls or emails or anything like that. But yeah, that's really all there is to it when it comes to pet insurance comparison tools. Just be sure you know what you need from your policy, and then once you have a clear idea of that, then you can't go too far wrong. But that's all from me on this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.